Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about this video because I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite things, and that's food. I love food. Sometimes in my past, I've loved it a little too much. If you are not familiar with my channel or you haven't seen any of my previous food nutrition videos, I was once 50 pounds overweight. It took me a year and a half to lose those 50 pounds, and I continue to eat a clean diet. Now, I do like the 80-20 rule, and instead of doing like 80% of the day where I eat clean and 20% I don't, because that will not keep me on track. I just know myself. I eat clean 6 days a week, and then on the 7th day, I pretty much eat what I want within reason. You know, we'll go out to eat. I won't care what I order, that kind of stuff. I also have hypothyroidism. I have had that for a little over 10 years now, and I am just now, stupidly enough, this is totally my fault, researching the best foods to eat for your thyroid. Trying to heal it with the food that we eat, because I am a firm believer that you can heal many things with the items that we ingest. So I have a few favorite foods that I want to talk to you about. I mentioned this in my favorites video, which I believe was either 1 or 2 videos ago, where I talked about the Vital Proteins coffee creamer not working out for me. And I was going to talk about some of these things in that video, but there's just too many that I thought I would do a designated video. Plus, some people who come to my favorites videos don't care to hear about food. So if you're one of those people, you don't have to click on this video. So if you want to see the foods that I have been loving lately, then let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to preface this by telling you kind of the basis to how I eat every day. I am not a keto eater. If you're not aware, keto is a lifestyle where you basically put your body into ketosis, and in order to do that, you need to be under around 20 carbs per day, and those 20 carbs really need to consist of vegetables, basically. So you're not having any kind of carbohydrates other than vegetables, and you're even eliminating those. It's a very high fat diet. You're going to want your protein to be even lower than your fat. I call the way I eat a keto-like diet. Keto in general is not for me. I have tried it before. There's a couple reasons I don't like it. I know it's supposed to up your energy. It does not up mine. And I tend to get what Chad and I call the ketosis smell. And it's basically an ammonia type smell that can originate when your body goes into ketosis, that you yourself cannot smell, but the people around you can. And I cannot tell you how many countless people I have smelled this smell on, so I know what it smells like. And Chad will be like, you kind of have that smell. And that is not something I want. So not everybody gets that, but I do, and it's just not right for me. So a keto-like diet is where I'm going to limit the amount of carbs that I have, but I am not going to base them solely on vegetables, and they are going to be a little bit above 20 a day. So I do personally function way better on a high-fat diet. Chad, on the other hand, functions really well on a high-carb diet. You really need to see what works best for you, because I do not believe there is a one-size-fits-all type of macro diet for everyone. If Chad were to eat like I eat, he would not be as healthy and as in good a shape as he is now. And if I were to eat like he eats, I would be 500 pounds. So it's just, you've got to figure out what works best for you. So I limit my carbs again to 50 or below, and I limit them to very healthy carbs. I don't go completely gluten-free, but I really don't have a ton of gluten. I tend to eat gluten-free oats, and I know that a lot of people say oats cannot be 100% gluten-free, and that's fine. I am not sensitive to gluten, so it's okay for me. And being below 50 carbs, I don't take in enough gluten with my gluten-free oats that's going to hurt my thyroid. So hopefully that makes sense. I am around between 90 and 100 protein, and then I have about 100 to 150 grams of fat a day. They all consist of very healthy fats: avocados, coconut oil, olive oil, olives, walnuts, almonds. Almond butter. I don't particularly eat peanut butter. It's not as good for your thyroid as other forms of butter, so I like to use almond butter. Let's actually go into the food. One thing I am not ever going to give up, regardless of how bad someone tells me it is, for me, is coffee. I just can't do it. No, let me rephrase that. I won't do it. Coffee is my favorite food group ever. I love it more than frosting. So if that tells you anything, you know how much I love coffee. So I found a couple of things that I put in my coffee that tend to work the best for me. One of which is this New Naturals New Stevia Concentrated Simple Syrup. So this is the way it looks. This is a liquid form of stevia. This New Naturals brand is on Amazon. I'm sure they have an actual website too, but I buy it from Amazon, and they do have other forms, like flavors. They have a vanilla. They have, I think, like a pumpkin maybe. A maple, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. I've tried the vanilla, but honestly, my favorite is just the plain simple syrup. So again, this is a liquid form of stevia. It has glycerin, water, stevia extract, organic acacia gum, organic guar gum, and xanthan gum. So anyways, I just like to squeeze a little bit of this in my coffee and a little bit of the creamer that I'm going to show you. And I also really like this in my oats. I like it if I feel like my smoothies aren't sweet enough for me, then I will put in like a little squirt, I hate that word, of this, and it just sweetens up everything perfectly. Now, if for some reason I don't want to use the syrup, or if I want to vary my stevia up, my favorite stevia is the Sweet Leaf Organics, Organic Stevia Sweetener. So this is not cheap. Unfortunately, anytime something has organic on it, you are most likely going to be paying more for it. The ingredients on this are organic inulin, organic stevia leaf extract, and silica. So I don't know why, I just love these. I feel like they give off the most amount of sweetness. They work the best. I can use the least amount and still get my desired level of taste with them. So that's just so far my favorite stevia. So that's another thing I put in my coffee. I don't always put both. Sometimes I do. If I'm having like a really sweet tooth, I will add both. I don't always, but I do always use creamer. Now, one thing I am on this, like low carb diet is I am dairy free. It doesn't necessarily hurt me, but it's not the best for your thyroid, and there's way more cons than there are pros. And I don't care if I don't eat dairy. Like, it doesn't really affect me. So I use flax milk or almond milk in my smoothies. It tastes the same to me. I've never been a huge milk drinker anyways. Now, one thing I do love is cheese. I will say that, but I just don't eat it. Now, if I want to go and have pizza on like my splurge day or something, I'm going to, because I up my carbs on my splurge day to rev my body up and tell it, hey, you know what? It is getting some carbs in it, and it tells my body that I am okay, and it just works for me. I feel like revving it up one day a week works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it does for me. That was a side note, but I don't like using dairy creamers in my coffee. So I use this new one from Natural Bliss. So Natural Bliss is from Coffee Mate, and they do have a regular Natural Bliss dairy form of a creamer. It does have 5 grams of sugar in it and 5 grams of carbs. The 5 grams of carbs wouldn't bother me too much if they weren't all sugars. So I found this one not that long ago, and it is from Natural Bliss. I can only find it at Walmart. I don't see it at Kroger. I haven't checked Publix, but they do have it at Walmart, and it only comes in this small container, which, I mean, whatever. I just buy like 4 at a time. But it's the plant-based half almond milk and half coconut cream creamer. So they have an unsweetened one and a vanilla one. So I use the vanilla natural flavor, and the first ingredient is coconut milk, and it has almond milk. It does have a little bit of sugar, but it's only 2 sugars per serving versus 5. And it also has pea protein, guar gum, and lemon juice, and coconut oil. So I know that like these are still processed creamers, but out of all the ones that are available, I find this one to be the best for me, and also very good tasting. So those are the things that I like to use in my coffee to get me revved up, because again, I'm not giving up coffee. Let's get on to other foods. Let's go ahead and keep on with the stevia, because this is something I mix with the powdered stevia, and this is probably like, duh, everybody uses this, but still, I'm going to tell you how I use it the most. This is the Bragg Organic Raw Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar. This is the kind that will have all of the stuff kind of settle down on the bottom. It's actually very gross until you shake it up. So please be sure to shake up any of these organic apple cider vinegars well before you use them, or you're not going to A, have the same taste, or B, reap the same benefits, because all of the good stuff does settle down into the bottom. So it's unpasteurized, naturally gluten-free. I mean, it's just apple cider vinegar. So this is so good for you in so many ways. It puts your body in an alkalinic state. It has so many pros to it. And a lot of people will take shots of it. Chad does. I either A, don't remember to, or B, just really want to throw up after I do that, so I don't choose to do it that way. I love salads. I love big salads, and I like good dressing that I can have a lot of. So I will mix this with regular plain yellow mustard and a packet of that stevia. I'll whisk it up really well, and I will use that as my salad dressing. I will put it on scrambled eggs. I will put it on, I mean, it goes on anything that's savory, I will put it on. So that's how I incorporate my apple cider vinegar. You can get this in so many places. I mean, I think even like Kroger gets it. I got this one at Sprouts, but again, you can get it anywhere, and it's just a different way to incorporate apple cider vinegar if you're someone that doesn't particularly like to take shots of it. Another thing I have been loving, so a couple of different minerals that are very, very, very beneficial for really healthy thyroid function. First is iodine. Iodine is essential for thyroid function. It just is, I think it's probably the most essential mineral that for thyroid function. How many times can I say thyroid function? Thyroid function? Thyroid function. All right. So there is a lot of different ways, or there are a lot of different ways for you to intake iodine. You can take it in a supplement. You can get iodized salt. I mean, there's lots of different ways. One of the ways that I like to take it is through seaweed. And this is Annie Chun's Organic Seaweed Snacks. So they have a couple of different flavors. This one is sea salt and vinegar, because I am not a big potato chip fan, but if you put salt and vinegar potato chips in front of me, I will be tempted. I love salt and vinegar anything. So that's what I have chosen. I've had the wasabi. The wasabi has quite a kick to it, as you would expect. And I've had the sesame, which is also good, but my favorite is the sea salt and vinegar. They come in two different sizes. This one is the 0.16 ounce version, and it is only 25 calories, 1 carb, and 1 protein, and 1.5 fat. So this is basically not something that is going to satiate any kind of hunger. It is very airy. It's just not going to fill you up. But I think it tastes great. It's a little bit crunchy, satisfies my salt craving, while also giving me iodine. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, because I'll just eat them after I get done with this video, just to show you what they look like. They do have another size that is twice this much. That is obviously 50 calories and has apparently 2 servings. I eat the whole thing. But they're basically just sheets of seaweed. Some people I have found on like reviews and stuff say, oh, it tastes so fishy, and it's seaweed, people. Like, it comes from the sea. It's going to have a little bit of that aftertaste to it. Doesn't bother me at all. And again, it really hits that salt craving while also giving me my iodine. So I have been loving those. I buy them off of Amazon in packs of 12, and I eat at least 1 a day. Another thing I have been loving is bone broth. Now, if you have heard anything from anybody that does keto, or anybody that does intermittent fasting, or anybody that's really trying to be healthy at all, they have talked about bone broth. Bone broth is very essential and really good for you in so many different ways, but it is also very good for your thyroid. I am not patient enough to make my own bone broth. Never have been, never will be. So I just buy it already made for me. And this is the Bonafide Provisions Organic Chicken Bone Broth. You can also get beef bone broth, turkey bone broth. I mean, there's different kinds, but I just use the chicken. It is made from free-range chicken bones, organic, and basically it's broth. So it looks kind of gross. In fact, the first time I opened this particular brand and poured it in a mug, Chad was like, holy cow, what are you doing? I'm like, it's my bone broth. He would never be able to drink this because of the way it looks. It's very gelatinous when it's cold. You do need to warm it up a little bit. You can have this in countless ways. You can put it in soups. You can, wherever you would use a broth. I personally just sip it from a mug. Like, I just pour a little bit in a mug every day, and I warm it up in the microwave or the stove, however you want to do it. If you're one of those radiation microwave people, that's fine. I'm not. I put it in the microwave and heat it up a little bit, and I sip it like kind of like a hot drink. It is filling to me. 1 serving has 10 grams of protein, 0 fat, 0 carbs, so it's not going to add any fat to my diet, But I take this more as a supplement than I do as like a actual food product. So another thing, and this is almost empty, I've got to go back and get double because I have found that Zeus loves this stuff. I heard on one of Tammy's Ageless Beauty videos that she gives her dogs bone broth when they have like loose stools, and it really helps them. And holy cat, first of all, he devours. He's a very picky eater, but he will devour any food that I pour this over, and it has helped him in that area too. So if you want to share it with your pups, I highly suggest that too. But I, again, take that more as a supplement. It does taste good. It does fill me up a little bit, and it's just good. All right, a few more things. This is Viva Naturals Chia Seeds, organic. I get the big Mama Jamma 2-pound bag. I got this from, wow, I said that wrong, or weird, bag. I got this from Amazon. They are not expensive. I think I paid like $6 for this bag, and it has lasted me forever. There are so many different ways that you can eat chia seeds. They're very high in like omega fatty acids. They're just very nutritious for you all around. They are a tiny, if you have not seen them, I mean, I'm not going to be able to show this on camera, I don't think. You'd probably be easier to see them in my teeth than you would in my hand. Can you see that? That is quite a few. I mean, that's probably like 30 seeds. They're tiny, tiny little seeds. And they can be added to pretty much anything. So I add these to my oats. I add them to my smoothies. I add them on top of my salad. What else do I add them to? Pretty much anything. You can make chia seed pudding because the crazy thing about them is that they turn gelatinous as they sit in liquid. So you can add it to, dairy-free yogurt, or if I let it sit in my smoothie. So for instance, today I got done working out. I came home, I made my smoothie. I had a couple of things I needed to do, would take about 10 or 15 minutes. So I let my smoothie sit in the blender while I went and did those things. I came back and it makes it really thick. They've got this little, if you look at them, little gelatinous coating to them. So they just make everything thick and wonderful. There are some people who will say you need to wait at least 20 minutes before eating these after mixing them in with a liquid because it can clog your airways. I think that's if you have existing esophageal problems, then you may want to look into that. But otherwise, I've had absolutely no problems with these. And again, I add them to everything. Another mineral or ingredient or supplement or whatever you want to say that is really crucial to good thyroid function is selenium. If I can get something in a food versus a tablet, I would much rather get it in a food. And one of the best sources of natural selenium that you can get in a food is Brazil nuts. So I love these raw organic Brazil nuts. This is from Sunfood Superfoods. I think I got this did I get this? Where did I get this? I got this at my health food store. So, I mean, I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, but I mean, they're just Brazil nuts. And again, I take these kind of as a supplement versus a food intake, but they are, these are the nuts that if you get like a mixed nut jar, there's 2 of them in there because they're not cheap. I will say that. I think I paid $12 for this bag, but it's quite a few. And I only eat like 3 or 4 because 3 or 4 is going to have your daily need of selenium. So, I mean, they're great. They're not salted. They're raw. They're organic. So, they don't taste bad. But they're not something that I eat like as a snack or anything. I just eat them for their selenium purposes. Okay, finally, we're going to talk about a drink because when you are on any kind of lifestyle, it is so important that you get a ton of water in your system on a daily basis. I've talked about water intake a lot in my skin videos and how important it is to maintain good skin. It's important to maintain good health. Now, I understand that sometimes water is not always the most exciting thing to drink. So I have found these sparkling waters, and this is the Kroger Simple Truth organic brand. So I don't know, I'm sure you can find sparkling waters flavored anywhere, but I don't know if you're going to get these exact flavors. But this is the Simple Truth organic seltzer water. So I have 2 flavors. I have strawberry watermelon, which is good, fine. This is 0 calories, 0 sodium, 0 everything. I mean, it's just 0% juice, 0 everything. It's just a naturally flavored water that's carbonated, which I find really curbs any of my cravings, which you know, the more I eat healthy and the longer I have, which, man, I've been eating like this for like 20 years. I don't really have cravings anymore, but if you do, especially if you're like a Coke drinker or a pop drinker or soda drinker, we just call it Coke down here in the South. But this is going to, you know, curb your carbonation craving, I guess I should say. My favorite is the orange vanilla. So this has like a little hint of dreamsicle aftertaste to it. It's not strong. None of the flavors are going to be strong, but it's just a little bit of a touch of dreamsicle. Who doesn't love dreamsicle? I love dreamsicle. So this is my favorite, the orange vanilla. So I don't have one of these every day. I have them, you know, once every 2 days or 3 days, whenever the bug hits me that I'm like, I want something a little bit fizzy. And I'm a Pellegrino type person. Like, I love carbonated water. So this is just right up my alley. So that is all of the foods that I have been loving lately. Hopefully this was helpful, especially if you do have hypothyroidism. I really suggest, if you haven't already, to start researching the foods that are good for it and the foods that are not good for it, and really try to arrange your lifestyle around that. I do not like saying diet, because I don't think anybody should ever be on a diet. I think we should make whatever we eat and however we eat a lifestyle that is doing nothing but beneficial things for us. So thank you all so much for watching. I want to know your favorite food lately. I mean, if you say cake, like, that's a duh. Your favorite healthy food lately, down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.